The late great comedian Jack Benny, who perpetually gave his age as 39, once said that growing old is a case of mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. The problem is most of us do, and the graying of 78 million baby boomers is creating a vast marketing opportunity for doctors and pharmacists who claim they can slow that process down. This new field is called anti-aging medicine, or age management medicine, and the treatment usually includes doses of the same performance-enhancing drugs now banned by most professional sports, things like testosterone, DHEA, and human growth hormone. Needless to say, all of this is highly controversial and maybe even illegal, but that's not stopping thousands of doctors from taking up the practice or patients from seeking them out. This is the Temple of Anti-Aging Medicine, the Cenegenics Medical Institute of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Let's take a look at.
It was founded in 1998 by its chief prophet, Dr. Alan Mintz, who claims to have 12,000 patients around the world, offering hope to anyone who is feeling tired, getting flabby, and losing interest in sex.
People are looking to feel better. They're tired of the answers, go home, we can't do anything for you, you're really okay. They're tired of hearing, I'm getting old, there's nothing you can do about it, just live with it.
People have been chasing the fountain of youth for a long time.
Not chasing the fountain of youth. This is not about the fountain of youth. This is not about staying forever young. It's about staying in charge of my life and being productive.
Dr. Mintz is 67 years old, a longtime bodybuilder and fitness freak who prescribes a regimen of regular exercise, good nutrition, along with vitamins and supplements to manage the effects of aging. Here comes the controversial part. Every day, Dr. Mintz and many of his patients inject themselves with steroids and hormones that would get ball players banned and are considered by many to be downright dangerous. How many years have you been on human growth hormone?
I would say probably 10 or 11.
Any adverse effects from any of this?
None. Because I'm taking very small doses.
What have been the benefits that you felt?
Well, energy, more energy, better body composition. My brain is working, my brain function, we test it, is actually quicker than it was 5 to 6 years ago.
Dr. Mintz says substances like testosterone and human growth hormone are produced and stored by the human body. But as we get older, these natural levels taper off, creating what Mintz claims are hormone deficiencies that may be responsible for some of the symptoms attributed to old age.
We start to lose hormonal, a lot of different hormones starting at 30, 2 to 3% a year. And by the time you're 40, you begin to recognize some changes. And we take it as we're just getting older.
You're trying to replenish.
We're trying to replenish, right. But always within the limit of what's considered normal.
Dr. Mintz says that testosterone and human growth hormone help build muscle mass, reduce body fat, and strengthen bones against osteoporosis. And his patients say they can feel the difference.
The real benefit of it, more than anything else, is the energy level. I mean, there's a difference between being 25 and 45, and I feel like I'm 25 again.
We talked to a group of 6 of them that ranged in age from 74 to 34. A businessman, a cocktail waitress, a retired school teacher, a car dealership manager, a real estate broker, and a human resources consultant.
We'll take off some air.
They're all injecting themselves with human growth hormone, and some are also taking testosterone, DHEA, and estrogen. You feel younger?
Well, I'm 74 and I worked out 2 hours last night and I've recovered. And I can stay up till midnight. And I have the energy and vitality.
Big time libido. Yeah, like when you're a kid again.
And, you know, for women...
Improves your sex drive.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Are all of you exercising more?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Every day.
And all of you are eating better?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a whole way of life. But the hormones and stuff is like cheating. It makes it so much easier to do it, and it gives you the results are so much quicker.
I mean, there's steroids, right?
Well, we're making ourselves better athletes. That's my answer.
We have trained physicians around the country.
Cenegenics has a network of more than 100 affiliated doctors in the United States and joint ventures in Tokyo, Seoul, and Hong Kong.
This will take about 2 minutes.
Mintz says his roster of patients includes movie stars, Las Vegas entertainers, CEOs, and the president of a foreign country, some of whom pay as much as $1,000 a month for the treatment. How much has your business grown?
Well, start with 0 9 years ago, and it'll do 20 million this year.
That's pretty good practice.
It's a very good practice.
And you don't have to worry about Medicare or Medicaid.
We don't ever want to talk to Medicare or Medicaid.
No insurance to deal with?
Absolutely none.
It's like the good old days.
Like the good old days.
It's a fact not lost on many doctors, most of whom are less forthcoming than Dr. Mintz. You're looking at hidden camera footage from a recent convention of the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, which Dr. Mintz has disassociated himself from. When it held its first gathering back in 1993, 30 physicians were in attendance. Today, it boasts 17,000 members in 85 countries and claims the numbers are doubling every 2 years. For some reason, the Academy was not eager to share the success story and declined our request to attend. The Academy's reluctance may have had something to do with the presence of exhibitors peddling human growth hormone, which is a prescription drug with narrowly defined uses that is supposed to be strictly controlled. Just 6 weeks earlier, an article in the Journal of the American Medical Association warned doctors and healthcare professionals that the distribution or marketing of growth hormone to treat aging or aging-related conditions is illegal, punishable by up to 5 years in prison. But that didn't stop this pharmacist from marketing his company's own specially made growth hormone product to anti-aging doctors.
We called a few people, paid some money for an attorney to give us an opinion, and everybody said we couldn't do it, that we should not do it and could not do it. So that's why we started doing it.
I got you.
The pharmacist told us that what he was doing was perfectly legal and that he never gives out growth hormone without a valid prescription from a doctor. According to the Food and Drug Administration, there are very few approved uses for human growth hormone. The most common is growth hormone deficiency, which is caused by disease or damage to the pituitary gland and is thought to afflict only 3 people out of every 10,000 adults. If that's true, a lot of them must have been at the anti-aging convention. All of this is particularly alarming to Dr. Shlomo Melmed, who literally wrote the book on human growth hormone and says there are all sorts of good reasons why its use is supposed to be carefully controlled.
I would not take growth hormone because it's unsafe. And as a physician, I would certainly not recommend to my family or my patients that they take growth hormone unless they have a proven indication for pituitary damage.
Dr. Melmed, director of Cedars-Sinai Research Institute in Los Angeles, is one of the world's leading researchers on human growth hormone and president of the International Society of Endocrinology, which is the study of hormones.
There's no study published which shows that growth hormone administration will prolong life in a controlled fashion. There is no controlled study which shows that growth hormone administration in the long term will benefit any of the frailties of old age.
Dr. Melmed says the benefits of taking testosterone and human growth hormone are often temporary and largely cosmetic, while the potential side effects, which include joint pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart failure, are very real. But his biggest concern is that human growth hormone could stimulate the growth of undetected cancer cells, such as prostate cancer, in men over 50.
It may well be that it's beneficial for us to have low growth hormones as we age.
Why?
It may be protecting us from cancer and heart disease.
If someone has a latent cancer, is there any way to diagnose that before you begin administering human growth hormone?
Unfortunately not. I would be very reluctant to pour fuel onto the fire of a cancer by adding a very powerful growth factor.
Does this bother you?
Of course it bothers me. It bothers me that people are prepared to spend so much money on a molecule which may be unsafe for them.
Hi, Dr. Mintz, can I help you?
Dr. Mintz at Cenegenics is undeterred. He says his staff physicians monitor patients carefully and look out for signs of cancer. He also says he's giving human growth hormone to only 7% of his patients, all of whom have natural levels below normal and symptoms that lead him to believe they are growth hormone deficient.
If your labs show you that you have...
He told us he avoids using the term anti-aging these days because he considers it misleading and unscientific. He provided us with stacks of studies supporting the promise of growth hormone and testosterone supplements, but acknowledged there were no long-term blind studies showing that they were safe or effective in age management.
They don't exist.
They don't exist.
We don't really know scientifically.
Galileo didn't have double-blind studies, but observation's wonderful. We've never done a double-blind study on the sun, but you know and I know, even on a cloudy day, it's coming up every morning.
Are you an endocrinologist?
I am not, I'm a radiologist.
How many endocrinologists do you have on your staff?
We have none practicing, but 2 on our board.
But if it's all about hormonal balance, you would think that you would have a building full of endocrinologists.
Most endocrinologists deal with thyroid disease and diabetes. If you ask them, that's what they'll talk about. We have a disease-based system. They're rewarded for disease. It's a major paradigm. Doctors can't get paid for health.
So you're saying that the endocrinologists, the people who study hormones, don't understand it?
They're not ready to get there yet.
Dr. Mintz considers himself a pioneer in this gray area of law and science, and there are plenty of patients eager to follow the trail he's blazing. The ones we talked to in Las Vegas, all eager to remain young and vital, consider this a lifestyle choice, and they're prepared to roll the dice.
You aren't concerned that 5 years from now, somebody might do a study and find out that this regimen accelerates the growth of cancer cells or causes diabetes?
Well, that's happened with prescriptive drugs. I mean, has it not?
Yes.
So this is in any field you're doing this. They've taken drugs off the market because of this.
So you'd rather feel better now while you're living your life than worry about the possible downside 10 or 15 years from now?
You could get killed on the interstate tomorrow. I mean, my goodness. I mean, it's you have to weigh risks and rewards. You do that every day in life. You do it when you get up in the morning.
Are you sure? Are you absolutely positive, absent any scientific studies, that the treatments that you're giving now won't prove to be detrimental to someone's health 5, 10, 15 years from now when all the evidence is in?
If you talk about 5, 10, 15 years, I'm pretty comfortable. No, I'm not absolutely sure. Only a fool is absolutely sure. Am I confident? Do I sleep well at night? Yes.